The night the cops showed up at my house, the whole neighborhood came out like it was a fireworks show. One minute I'm standing on my porch in sweatpants. The next, a guy in a reflective HOA patrol vest is face down on my gravel driveway with handcuffs clicking shut. And the part nobody could wrap their head around, he had bolt cutters in his hand at 12:30 a.m. I'm Jake Miller, mid-30s, quiet street, normal life. Except I live with my grandpa Frank Whitaker, and apparently that makes us the easiest target in Hawthorne Drive. Frank's the kind of old-school guy who drinks black coffee and doesn't waste words. He doesn't panic, he plans. It started on a Tuesday morning like most annoying things do. I'm half awake staring into the fridge when I hear this slow creak, wood rubbing wood, like someone's putting weight on our fence. Not a dog, not a branch, a person. I glance out the window and there he is, Cole Mercer, one leg hooked over our fence like he owns the place. Hoodie up, phone out, recording our backyard like he's filming a nature documentary. I step toward the door and Grandpa Frank holds a finger up, calm as a statue. "Nope," he says. "Let him." Cole drops into our yard, lands heavy, then starts walking around like a landlord. He zooms in on our garden beds, the side gate, the shed, even the old hose that's been there longer than I've been alive. He's narrating under his breath, too, like violation, unapproved structure, improper storage. I swing the door open and go, "Hey, what are you doing back there?" And he doesn't even look guilty. He just turns his phone toward me like I'm the one trespassing. "I'm with the Homeowners Association," he says, all confident. "We're doing compliance checks." Compliance checks in my fenced backyard, without asking. I tell him, "Get out, now." And he gives me that fake polite smile people use right before they try to ruin your day. "Sir, if you interfere with an inspection, the HOA can escalate this." Escalate. That word. Like he's not a random guy climbing fences, he's a government agency. He finally leaves slowly like he's daring me to touch him. Then he stands outside our fence, still recording, still making notes on a clipboard like he's writing a ticket for the universe. I did what anyone would do. I emailed the HOA president, Diane Caldwell. She's the kind of woman who looks like she sleeps in pearls. Perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect ability to act like problems are actually your attitude. I attach screenshots, timestamps, the fact he was inside our yard. I'm expecting, I don't know, an apology, a warning, literally anything. She replies like a robot with lipstick. "Cole is a passionate volunteer. He's helping keep our community standards high. Please cooperate." Cooperate with a guy breaking into my yard. So I call the non-emergency police line. The officer on the phone is nice too, nice like he's heard this story 1,000 times. He says, if he's inside your property, that's trespassing. But HOA disputes get messy. Best thing you can do is document everything. If he comes back, call us while it's happening. And that's when it hits me. This isn't one of those situations where a complaint fixes it. This is one of those situations where you have to catch someone mid-stupid. Cole didn't stop, he got worse. Next day he's back, same vest, same phone, same smug expression, walking the fence line and narrating like he's hunting a rare animal. Then he starts doing this thing where he accidentally bumps the gate, tests. It pulls it like he's checking for weakness. One afternoon I come home and find my side latch flipped. Not open, just flipped, like someone wanted me to know they touched it. I email Diane again. She sends back, "Cole reports that your property contains multiple violations. Failure to comply may result in fines." Fines. For my garden, behind my fence, on my property. That's the moment my anger stopped being funny and started being heavy, because now it wasn't just annoying, it was targeted. Like they'd decided we were the house they could pressure until we folded. I tried to keep it normal, I really did. I'd go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch something dumb. But every time a car slowed near our house, my stomach tightened. Every time I heard a creak outside, I'd freeze for a second listening. And Grandpa Frank, he noticed. He didn't say much, but he'd watch me, like he could see the stress crawling up my spine. One night I'm in the kitchen leaning on the counter staring at a stack of printed emails and screenshots. It felt ridiculous, like I was building a case file against a man with a clipboard. I tell Frank, "Maybe we just stop fighting. They'll never admit they're wrong. They'll just keep doing this." And I hated hearing it come out of my mouth because it sounded like surrender. He takes a sip of coffee at night because he's built different, and he goes, "You're tired. That's what they want. Doesn't mean we quit. I let out this laugh that wasn't even funny. So what, we just sit here and wait for him to hop the fence again? Frank stares out the window toward the gate like it personally offended him. No, he says. We make it impossible. The next morning, Grandpa Frank is in the garage like he's prepping for a mission. Tools laid out, measuring tape, a coil of wire, a small control box. I'm like, what is all this? He doesn't even look up. Gate, he says. We're upgrading it. Now, before anyone gets dramatic, he wasn't building some cartoon death trap. He's not some wild man cackling over lightning. He's practical. He reads. He checks rules. He does things the boring legal way. He shows me the label on the box, low-voltage gate energizer, the kind people use to keep animals off fences. He points at a printed page with local guidelines. He even has warning signs, bright yellow, no excuses. He installs it clean, hidden, professional-looking. The gate looks the same, which is honestly the scariest part. The only difference is the new sign warning electrified gate, no trespassing. That sign should have been the end of it. Any normal person sees that and goes, okay, not my business. Cole is not normal. That afternoon he drives by 3 times. Slow, like he's counting our windows. He parks across the street and films our gate from inside his car like he's collecting evidence for a trial that only exists in his head. Then Diane emails me again. We've received reports of an illegal electrified barrier. Illegal, of course, because if they don't control it, it must be illegal. Frank just smiles barely and says, good. They noticed. For 2 days, nothing happens. It almost feels like peace. Except it isn't. It's that tense quiet right before something breaks. Then comes the night. I wake up because Grandpa Frank is moving around the house. Not frantic quiet, controlled. The way you move when you're trying not to make noise. I hear him open the front door, then the soft creak of the porch chair. I sit up, heart tapping in my chest like a warning. I walk to the window and see him out there sitting in the dark with a blanket over his legs like he's waiting for sunrise. Except he's not waiting for sunrise. He's waiting for Cole. I whisper through the cracked door. What's going on? Frank doesn't turn. He just says, shh, listen. And then I hear it. Footsteps. Not on the sidewalk, on gravel. Slow, careful, like someone trying not to wake a dog. A flashlight beam flicks once, then off. My blood goes cold because whatever this is, it's not compliance. Nobody does compliance checks in the dark. Then I see the shape by the gate. Hoodie, gloves. He's crouched like he thinks he's invisible. And in his hand, metal glints. Bolt cutters. At 12:30 in the morning, Frank doesn't move. He just raises his phone slightly, recording steady as a tripod. He leans toward me without looking and says, watch closely, Jake. Cole steps right up to the gate and looks around like a burglar. He grabs the chain, tests it, then slides the bolt cutters into position. I swear my brain splits in half in that moment. One side wants to sprint outside and tackle him. The other side knows the cops told me exactly what to do, catch him in the act. Cole squeezes the handles. Click, and then zap. It's not a movie explosion. It's not some dramatic lightning bolt. It's a sharp jolt that makes his whole body jerk like he grabbed a live wire because he did. He yelps this ugly, shocked sound and drops the bolt cutters into the gravel. He stumbles back, swearing, shaking his hand like it betrayed him. Then he looks up at the warning sign like it personally insulted him. And here's the funniest part, he gets mad. Like we wronged him by protecting our own property. He pulls out his phone and starts dialing like he's about to report a crime. He's pacing, breathing hard, acting like he's the victim of some ambush. I hear him say loud and shaky, yes, 911. Someone electrified their gate and attacked me. Attacked him, by him, trying to break in. Frank stays seated, doesn't argue, doesn't yell, just keeps recording. Minutes later, red and blue lights flash across our living room wall. 2 patrol cars roll up, doors open. Flashlights sweep. Cole rushes toward them, talking fast, pointing at his hand, pointing at our gate, pointing at Frank like my grandpa is a villain in a Western. One officer holds up a hand. Slow down. Tell me what happened. Cole starts this story about being on duty for the Homeowners Association, checking for violations, and how the electrified gate is dangerous and illegal and a threat to the community. The officer looks at him and goes, you were inspecting at midnight. Cole stutters, then tries to pivot. HOA operations can happen at any time. Frank finally stands up, not aggressive, just solid. He walks forward and says, "Officer, this is my property. That man climbed my fence multiple times. Tonight he came with bolt cutters. I have it all on video." The officer asks, "Do you have signage?" Frank points. "Right there." The second officer walks over, reads the sign, then looks back at Cole like he's looking at a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Frank hands over his phone. The officer watches. The video shows everything. Cole sneaking up, hiding the flashlight, crouching, lifting the cutters the moment he squeezes. The jolt, the bolt cutters dropping. There's a long pause, the kind where the air feels heavier because everyone knows what's about to happen. The officer turns to Cole and says very calmly, "So you weren't inspecting. You were attempting to break into a secured gate with bolt cutters at 12:30 a.m. Cole's mouth opens, closes, opens again. No words come out, because there aren't any. Then the officer says the sentence that made my whole chest loosen for the first time in weeks. "Turn around. Put your hands behind your back." Cole starts arguing, talking about HOA authority, about community rules, about Diane, about I'm allowed, but the officer doesn't care. The handcuffs click shut, metal on wrists, reality on ego. And the whole street sees it. Porch lights flick on, curtains move. People step outside in pajamas pretending they just happen to be awake. Cole gets guided into the back of the patrol car, bolt cutters bagged as evidence like he's some bargain bin criminal. The reflective vest suddenly looks ridiculous, like a costume someone wore too long and forgot was fake. Diane never showed up. Of course she didn't. People like that don't show up when the consequences arrive. The patrol car door shuts. Cole's face is pale behind the glass. His little clipboard world collapses in one night right there at our gate. And that was the moment I understood something simple. Rules don't mean anything when you let the wrong people enforce them.